thinking. I was too
children, podcast, please.
Right,
Okay.
yes. Hello and welcome to the Capitalism Participation Podcast. I'm the Consume-Muminator, and today I'm joined by my good friends Bingo Rider and Byster Corp to discuss all the new products announced this last week at Hasbro's PulseCon event. Because, fuck pretenses, we were obviously going to talk about these anyway, because I expected Snowcone to be here, alright? I don't know what we do now.
He got busy with IRL shit, but I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $50.
Yeah. Oh God. Fellas, I suppose we should start by explaining what the fuck PulseCon is for anybody who's coming in here blind.
It's a Nintendo Direct for losers.
Fuck you.
That's already a Nintendo Direct, though.
Dang it. No, Lazy. Nintendo Directs are prestigious. They started this whole
right.
thing.
That's PlayStation Direct.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're right.
Jesus, I'm gonna die, and we're only 2 minutes into the podcast.
We're firing on all cylinders, buddies.
Okay, so PulseCon is an event Hasbro does like once every 6 months. That's basically all their fan-first events, but like all within 2 days of each other instead of spread out over a couple of months. Because usually there's a rotation. Usually it's like every week, one random day, it's fan-first Marvel Day or fan-first Star Wars Day, and here's 40 minutes of the design team talking about, here's some shit you can buy. But instead, every 6 months or so, they wait a month and then do it all in 1 or 2 days, and they bring in some guests, and it's pretty awkward for the most part, and
very hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, oof. Oh,
they
God.
They made us play chat mini games at the beginning. I hate it.
I'll have words about fucking Marvel's panel and some of the shit Dwight said, but first let's talk about Power Rangers, everybody, because we have a fucking Tokusatsu podcast and we couldn't just talk about it there.
Yeah.
What's this we thing?
It's
the royal
we, not you.
The royal we.
I mean, technically, I am in every single podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
You did make a cameo during the episode where the audio got corrupted.
Oh, God. So, I should go ahead and clarify. I was at work most of the first day, and so when I got home, I watched...
Who's
but I did...
with?
Fuck you. I did keep up with the news, so I know everything, and we can go over everything. But I watched the entirety of Day 2. My ass was planted right here, watching the whole Day 2 stream. But let's go ahead and get into the Power Rangers content in Day 1. So first and foremost, there's a panel talking to the cast of Dino Fury that came off like a very awkward Zoom call.
It really did. It felt like a Power Morphicon panel without the question.
Every fucking question was preceded by 30 seconds of, okay, so who's supposed to answer? Oh, I guess I'll go, okay.
There's also just delay between everyone. Because even with like specific questions, there was like a delay.
Mm-hmm. I do like that Simon Bennett got some of the best quotes in this. I really like that he acknowledged that they had a different voice actor for Zed, and he very much... There was a lot of talk of Zed in this panel, and they seemed very aware of the fact that it was a bit of a bold choice to bring him back, and that they tried to handle it with the utmost care possible, even though in all likelihood it was John Hasbro going, hey, put Zed in the show because Zed makes money.
Yeah, and because we have a helmet to sell. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. Which also, I should say, right before any of the panels started up, they had a Moment of Silence segment for Brian Goldner, which was pretty nice. I honestly didn't expect that. Slightly less soulless and corporate than expected, so bravo.
Yeah.
And then they got into... we saw a clip from Season 2, which...
And it looked like Zeta was in hell.
Yeah, that... I think the cycle itself, because the whole point was, hey, there's going to be a motorcycle toy we're selling next year, so let's see a clip of it in the show. And the clip was interesting in that it basically spoiled the entire debut episode for the motorcycle. But I think the design of the cycle is good, but I'm incredibly annoyed about the fact that it seems like whenever it's moving, it's going to be CGI.
I don't mind that. Like, despite my joke earlier, I think the CGI is really good. Like, always good for like TV standards. Like,
I mean, it's good CGI. It's just like, why would you even bother to make a physical prop if you were going to CGI all the movement?
Because it's probably for safety and insurance.
Yeah,
you can sit on a prop for a couple like still shots, but for movement, it's probably 10 times cheaper for insurance. That's probably also why rider motorcycles have been either reduced or extreme stunt cycles, such as Revice, because he has the hover bike.
It's also incredibly hard in Japan to make the motorcycles both look cool and be street legal.
That's like, because like, and for a brief period of time they didn't even try, like Kiva.
Yeah, that was just a motor. That was just like a standard.
That was just a cruiser. It was just a cruiser. Then you had Hibiki, same thing, just a cruiser.
I mean, like
Double was pretty close. It just had a couple extra bits of fairing, but it was just as Honda CR1000. I'm not full up on motorcycle shit.
Fair enough. Yeah. But like, they then
out of the three of us, I feel like I'm the most motorcycle-y, though.
They also talked about the fact that Dino Fury is going to be... They officially announced the day before PulseCon, Dino Fury is going to be a Netflix exclusive show going forward, and presumably Power Rangers in general going forward is going to be a Netflix original trademark, which, you know... Say what you will about Netflix right now, except don't actually say it because I don't want to have that conversation right now. They then talked about the fact that Dino Fury Green is going to be in the Legacy Wars mobile game.
And not Battle for the Grid, dang it.
Okay. Well, maybe she'll make her way to Battle for the Grid eventually because of this.
I hope so.
But like, it was cool.
Get your lesbian fighter simulator. You will, one day.
Yeah. And it was cool because Tessa got to make the announcement, and like, I don't know about you, Boingo, but I deadass had no idea she was a Kiwi. So this whole stream I was going like, oh, wow, she hides her accent incredibly well in the show.
Yeah.
And also, oh goodness, his name has just fallen out of my head.
Russell Curry.
Yeah, Russell Curry, the guy who portrays Zato, the Red Dino Fury Ranger, got to unveil the first Dino Fury figure in the Lightning Collection, which is his character. And that was also a very sweet, wholesome
predicted
moment.
that when the figure got leaked, and I feel like I feel like an omnipotent being because I predicted that. I was like, what if they get like Russell Curry to like show it at like one of these panels? And I was like, now I feel like I'm an omnipotent being. Hail me!
I mean, when we saw the leaked list, it was kind of obvious, but also kudos to you nonetheless. And that whole reveal led nicely into the proper Lightning Collection panel, because they showed Wave 11, which is Dino Fury Red, Dino Charge Pink, Wild Force Lunar Wolf, and a single release of the Zeo Cog. And I am very mixed on these reveals, because number one, this completely corroborates, the leaked listings that were found last month, which is very exciting. Number two, we didn't exactly know what the Zeo villain was going to be, so the fact that it's just a cog again with a slightly different deco is a bit boring, but also really cool detail, because Rocky didn't originally come with his individual weapons. They packed him in with this cog release. So if you already have Rocky and you're army building cogs anyway because you're a Zeo fanatic, you get this one, and now your Rocky is as complete as all the other Zeo Rangers. That's nice. That's helpful. Yeah. What's not helpful is the fact that Dino Charge Pink is the first Dino Charge Ranger to come with her individual weapon, and she doesn't even have alternate arm pieces to do the Dino Steel look.
Yeah, that's weird. Like it's weird that, like the weapon thing. Like, okay, so sometimes you'll do individual weapons, but the other times you won't. It just feels like, I don't know.
And she's also the first one not to come with the shared team saber. I just remembered that.
Maybe it's like the idea they're going for is team completion now. Like assuming like everyone who buys a figure will try to complete at least a part of that team. So they're like, oh, you already have that prop, so.
Yeah, but like, that would have that's a re-release strategy I would have been okay with, is re-releasing the Dino Charge Rangers in Dino Steel looks.
Yeah.
So it's a little annoying to me that they did that.
I hope we get some upgraded forms later. Just a side note.
Yeah. Nice thing to say about that figure though. First female figure in this Hasbro line to have double jointed elbows, which is a really nice step up, and it's going to hopefully solve a lot of breakage issues that people have been reporting recently with some of their single jointed female figures.
Why are the males double jointed but not the females? That's weird.
Because it's a smaller arm piece, so for a very long time they weren't sure if the parts would actually hold together.
Yeah, it's about plastic integrity and all that kind of bullshit.
I see.
I have a Ghost Spider figure, one elbow. Like, actually, hold on. I got a Hasbro Ladybug right here. Yeah, just one elbow. It's corny.
I see.
Dino Charge Red, or Dino Fury Red, excuse me.
Yeah.
I like it, but I have nitpicks.
Yeah. Like initially he looked pretty buff.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little annoyed that they didn't put the one dab of silver paint they needed to on the Morpher.
Yeah.
It's just a big chunk of black.
It literally looked like I have the basic figure right here. It literally looked like that.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, as soon as I said that, when I was watching the stream, I also went, yeah, but I have Gundam markers. I can fix that. What I can't fix, however, is I think it's a really big missed opportunity that they didn't include a third alternate head sculpt of Zeta with his antenna out. Like, I know they wouldn't want to change up the accessory layout of general figures for that, but like still, I feel like that could be precedent for a re-release one day.
Could they make alien costume version of the character with the antenna?
You mean like a powered down?
Yeah, like a power, but it's like his alien garb. It's not like Earth garb.
They did just do that for Andros, so I could see them doing that.
Like, I can definitely see them doing that for SPD in their base uniform.
Yeah, they're oh god, I don't know, but they're civilian clothes basically. Wild Force Lunar Wolf looks really good, honestly. I'm really surprised with how well he turned out. I love that he's coming with new alternate hands to the claws out pose. I love that he has both modes for the Lunar Q. Like, that just seems like there was some real love and passion put into that figure specifically.
Yeah, they were big Merrick fans, which, I don't blame him. He's a good character.
He's not one of my favorites, but I always respect people who like him, you know?
Yeah. I like
Merrick dueled Yami Yugi in that one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Do you actually want to be here?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Jokes.
They also announced that there's going to be a new exclusive packaging variant to Walmart, which is basically in the package, instead of it being the Ranger head on the figure, it's the civilian head, and it's got like some colorful graphics and katakana on one side, which I think is way cooler than the Spectrum packaging they were doing for Target back in 2019.
Okay.
However, I'm not a Mitten Box collector, so I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to buy that. Unless that just happens to be the first way I find the figure, and I'm like, ooh, I can have this now.
Yeah.
They also showed the Retro Megazord Wave in hand again, which was neat, but it's like, okay, we've already seen this. Get through this fast. Oh, hey, I'm happy that you guys are excited about NinjaCon. It's nice that you know how cool that is.
Yeah. Even though it's the first Ninja Storm figure, and it really should have been the first Ninja Storm. I'm sorry, I'll have my NinjaCon rant one day.
Then they announced they're moving away from the Monsters subline, and they're now having a deluxe assortment that will go along with each wave, which will be a monster and a deluxe Ranger release with a vehicle. And the first two are going to be the previously rumored to be canceled Pirantis head and In Space Blue with the Galaxy Glider. And I know some people were kind of complaining about that because, oh god, we just got an In Space Blue and a 2-pack, but like, you can cancel that pre-order, and like, who doesn't want the Galaxy Gliders? I'll take them. I'll take a re-release of Andros and Ashley. It's fine. Just give me Galaxy Gliders. I do think it was a bit cheeky though, that bit when they actually like pointed out how ridiculous the scaling is with the monsters and the Rangers. That was like, okay, you guys know, but you haven't done anything about it, and you're also like teasing us. What's with that? You better have fixed it by the next figure, please.
I don't mind the bigger scaling. I think it actually makes it more intimidating, but I know for like the show accurate toy photographers, it's a bit annoying.
I actually don't mind it because, speaking as a figure photographer, foreshortening is a thing. However, I'm just sick of hearing other people bitch about it.
Ah, okay.
And then they showed the Lightning Collection Lord Zed helmet, which honestly looks really impressive. I'm surprised at how much I like it.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying, "Who asked for this?" And then I was like, the story of the Zed helmet like guy at like PMC you told me about. And I was like, yeah,
there's
that's
a market for it, and like
that's a voice changer.
It would be a perfect display piece right next to a Vader helmet, a Boba helmet.
Yeah. And like they threw in a freaking Darth Vader voice changer, which was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Can't
wait to see that in every Dark Power Rangers fan film from now on.
Yeah. They then went on to the reveal of the Zord Ascension Project, or
That's
ZAP.
a cool ass name.
Yeah, and it's a new Lightning Collection subline, which is going to be fully articulated, fully transforming, highly detailed 1/144th scale Megazords. The thing everybody has been asking for since Hasbro got the license is finally here. And of course, they're starting with the Dino Megazord. I know there's a temptation to groan there, but like, what else were they gonna do?
And like even though like I would groan, it still looks pretty sick, and the Dino Megazord is actually one of my favorite parts of MMPR, so I'm cool with it, you know?
Yeah.
Question. You've seen it. Does it look like it uses some engineering from Transformers?
It's
not necessarily like 1-to-1, but more of like they looked at how they structure things and they went like, all right, we're going to use some of your notes on how we can build these things good.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I did just post the recap article in the chat for you, Boingo. I'm sorry, I forgot to do that earlier. But also, there's nothing that I could specifically pick out, but I would not be surprised if once I get it in hand, I could say, like, oh yeah, this started with this figure a couple of years ago. I've seen something like this before. But like, it doesn't look like a Combiner Wars Mighty Morphin Megazord. Per se.
It looks kind of like Soul of Chojoken, like that kind of line.
Yeah, it comes off like that one. Like, I'm expecting this to be as, if not more, articulated than the Soul of Chogokin, to be honest.
That tail looks a little Transformer-y, the tail on the back.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm just saying, like, not in the... It is from a Transformer reusing the mold. It is reusing the technology that they have developed.
Yeah, and I will say overall, I like this thing. I think it's a good start. However, I have nitpicks, because I'm a nitpicky fuck.
Yeah.
So, like, the proportions on this thing suck. The legs are too freaking long.
That's a super robot.
It looks like a Pat Lee drawing.
I kind of like it. I get it.
It's not the worst aesthetic in the world, but I'm just looking at it going like, that's not how big the legs are supposed to be.
Well, I think they're trying to be a compromise between them all separated and everything looking right next to each other and having it all combined looking right enough. Because they do shrink from the miniatures to the suit.
Yeah.
Fair enough. They did also make a big deal out of, hey, we used face printing technology to put the cockpit under the faceplate. And I'm like, cool, but the cockpit's not in the faceplate, it's in the chest plate.
Oops.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thought that counts.
Anyway, they said this was very early on.
Yeah, there's a chance they could change it.
So like this is like we're probably not going to see this till like end of 2022. Like
I think
and
they said they're shooting for summer of 22 because we also know, thanks to leak listings, that there's a Dragon Zord coming out before the end of 2022.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get like another non-MMPR Zord, like probably still Zord on Arrow, but still like because they said other Megazords are being worked on or like
I
are
could see them
planned.
doing a Space Megazord next. That's another one people really love.
Yeah, either a space or like I was thinking like Zeo because that's been a requested thing, or even like one of the season 3 Megazords.
Yeah. I also do really dig that they're having it come with little tiny like freaking HasLab Unicron size Power Ranger figurines. That's cute. I think that's everything in the actual collector merch panel. They then moved on to an interview with Ryan Parrott about upcoming stuff in the comics, which he didn't specifically give any plot details away or anything like that, but he was talking a lot about his thought process and like certain things he has in mind during the Eltarian War. And I gotta say, it's probably my favorite segment of the day because wow, it made a lot of the creative decisions make way more sense.
Yeah, and it's also just like nice to hear like it's also like nice to hear what's it called?
Him as a person.
Yeah, that and just like just his creative process and behind the scenes. I love that kind of stuff.
He also came off. He was also the first person the whole stream that came off like they had actually been on a stream before and they knew how to entertain people with their voice.
Yeah, probably because they, comic book writer, they've done interviews before, so
yeah. Like one thing he said that made me go, oh fuck, that makes so much sense. Is he said, he had this whole spiel where he got asked by the interviewer like, hey, do you ever have moments where you try to correct yourself because of something a fan tells you online? And he's like, well, usually I'm writing like 4 or 5 issues ahead, so I don't really have the ability to do that, but I'm not even really focused on people's criticism so much. I'm really writing this for 13-year-old Ryan. And I was like, oh, intergalactic war shit and Power Rangers makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, because that's what like a 13-year-old would love to see in Power Rangers. Yeah.
But that was the end of it.
Can I just say, I'm looking through all these photos and I'm enjoying some of the unique packaging they're doing, like the lunchbox thing. I like the VHSs.
Oh yeah, with Pudgy Pig.
Yeah, the VHSs are for the retro Megazords and the lunchbox is for the PulseCon exclusive Pudgy Pig.
I just like them. It's just neat little conceptual ideas.
I want to okay, I guess I'll get into this here. I was waiting until
let's just go to Twit. Let's just go to. We'll save that for Twit. We'll save the last thing for Twit. Just
that's not even what I was getting to there, Buster.
Oh, sorry.
We'll get to that in a minute. But first off, I want to be into the VHS packaging, but like it's everything I don't like about NECA packaging. You can't see the fucking toy. It looks like something that's not a toy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I don't like that that's a trend with packaging right now because they introduced this line a few weeks ago and they introduced something else that's like that in a later segment. But
here's the thing. I would much rather toy packaging be like that and much more recyclable than to use a bunch of plastics.
Fair
enough, but like their new Fortnite line has plasticless windows.
But it is not uncommon for Toku toys not to have windows. As I'm looking at the box, my Kamen Rider drive belt came in.
Yeah.
It's just a thing.
It's a thing.
But that was supposed to be end of it.
Can I explain this part or no?
Let me explain it and then I'll let you go on your rant, because I know you have a rant you've been saving for the last 48 hours.
Yeah, go ahead.
So they said that was the end of the panels properly, and then they showed the fan wall reacting to all the product reveals, which if you're not familiar, the fan wall is basically, they invite various toy reviewers and whatnot from the community to basically be in the WWE Thunderdome. Like, they don't actually know what they're seeing. They're just given prompts of, react this way, and we'll use the footage later. But they showed a bunch of people reacting to various reveals and things. And I did spot Toku Chris, formerly of Toku Nation, Eric Berry of the Ranger Command Power Hour, and I think I recognize... Oh, wait, they have a screen cap of it. I can just pull it up. Oh, yeah,
Oh, wow.
Scott fucking Zellner was there.
Who?
The guy who runs Power Morphicon.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I don't like Power Morphicon, and I don't like him very much.
Didn't you go to like several Power Morphicons?
I went to a Power Morphicon, and it was one of the most messy conventions I've ever attended, and that is all we'll say right now.
Just like Power Rangers. Hey!
But they then had a big, like, because the whole thing with the Fru line hosts, as I'll call them, who were really awkward and terrible. I didn't like them very much. But you know, they're clearly just doing the best they can because they're not actually super into this stuff and they're paid to be talking about it. It was like watching an award show basically with them.
Yeah.
And they were
The Masters of Ceremony?
Yeah, they're in this, like, sort of... They say they're in space at one point, but then at another point they say they're in the space between the Hasbro universes, and I'm like, this has about as much backstory condition as Zordon of Eltar.
Hey!
And then, there's like a rumbling, and they're like, oh god, there's breaking news, guys! Historical first for Hasbro! Hasbro is doing their first ever NFT, and it's with Power Rangers. You can buy a bunch of images of the newly unveiled Zord Ascension Project Dino Megazord, but in the black and gold color scheme, and it's gonna be like $280, and it's only available for 2 days, and if you put a code from it into a thing, and you get a code from that, and you put it into another thing, you can redeem a code that you get from that in about 2 years for an actual physical product. And I'm like, what? And then they moved on.
Okay, let me explain how I reacted. So I was live streaming this. The stream is privated because I don't want, not because I said anything racist or anything. I just didn't, I privated the stream.
We all know you said how much you hate the Irish.
I did. Yeah. So, yeah. And as I was watching it, I was like, okay, you know, there's some pretty good panels. And I was like, okay, I was getting ready to leave because, you know, I was just there for Power Rangers. And then it said, like, breaking news and then it showed, and then they showed these two guys who were from Power Rangers Creative. And I was like, oh, movie news? And then they showed NFT and I was just like, I'm done. Like, I was very close to swearing on stream.
Had I seen it in a vacuum, I wouldn't have thought movie news. I'd have thought, fucking next Sentai adaptation. Okay.
Yeah, that either. It was like a lot of things were running through my head. Just movie news was the one I said out loud. Because it was, and man, that was not a great way to end the Power Rangers segment at all. And it was the only NFT they revealed. Now here's the thing: I've heard reports I either heard that this is like, oh, you're buying an NFT, but they're actually going to ship you something if you buy this. But still, no.
But, like, if you read through the fine print, there's all this bullshit and rigmarole you have to do in order to get that actual physical product. And they don't even say what the physical product is going to be. They say it's of this Megazord, but, like, is it of the Megazord you just showed us, or is it of a black and gold variant of the Megazord? They did not specify that, and that really fucking annoyed me.
And not to mention, NFTs are super bad.
Yeah.
They're a bad trend. And
it's also infuriating, because, like, this is the only way they have to pre-order the thing right now. Like, they did not put up a pre-order for the regular Dino Megazord, as far as I know. But they put up this shit on HasbroPulse.com, and it's like, okay, I don't think on this podcast we need to go over why NFT's bad. They fuck over the environment. End of story. Google it, kids.
Yeah, just watch Virtus Joe's video on it.
But, like, it just came off as so weird and last minute and, like, very, very tone deaf, I would say. Especially because the way I found out about this news was I opened Twitter, I read the toy reveals, and then I went to clean a classroom for 20 minutes, and then I came back and opened the Twitter again, and it was just like 50 tweets saying NFT's bad, NFT's bad.
That was my fault, I'm sorry.
It was, but I didn't want to specifically yell at you.
Look, I'm
Um,
sorry. I'm a tweet spammer, you know.
I get it. It's fine now, but at the time it was just like, wait, what the fuck happened? I don't what? Huh? Like, yes, NFT's bad, but what are the specifics? And then like actually watching it is just so weird and like, all right, I've been dancing around saying this because it's how I opened my Twitter thread, but to be a little bit of a devil's advocate here, I get why Hasbro did this because some of the reaction really came off like people couldn't fathom Hasbro doing this whatsoever, which like I can kind of understand because yeah, Hasbro has been very left leaning over the last decade, but like NFTs being bad, like that information is very specific to like certain sects of the internet. In the mainstream, NFTs are just known as a new and exciting way to make money off of people.
It's seen as the new Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So like to
Bitcoin has its problems, but like cryptocurrency is not as bad as NFTs because you can optimize cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm. I see. And like I don't know about you, but if I'm a Hasbro exec and I hear about this shit and I'm like, wait a minute, it's like that Bitcoin thing people are making millions of dollars off of, yet we can get in on it and very easily. Let's fucking do
without
that.
having to invest in major technological infrastructures and blockchain computing. We can it's a no-brainer for a corporation.
Like I get how this happened. That being said, I hope it is both the first and the last time. I hope the fan backlash makes them put this out and then forever ignore it.
Honestly, I do get why they did Power Rangers because it's like, oh, that's the newest stuff. We still don't fully get this brand yet because we just bought it.
And like the hosts did say, very exciting for Power Rangers fans. I think they thought like, oh, they're gonna see it as we're throwing them a bone here because they're the new guys and they need to, or they were the new guys until Fortnite came along. They need a pat on the back right now.
Yeah, and it's. That was the anti-pat on the back. It was a slap.
It was a slap across the back of the head.
Yeah. And everyone disliked that.
It took what would have been an aggressively okay panel and made it feel like the fucking Toy News equivalent of drinking a 5-hour energy. Like, yes, this is gonna sustain me for a few days, but oh god, that aftertaste.
Yeah. I've never had a 5-hour energy, so I'm gonna take your word for it.
Good for you. I'm glad you're not fucking miserable like me. Anyway, so that was all of the Power Rangers stuff.
Which we're gonna have to talk about again on Twitter.
Yeah, and we're now like 20 minutes in, so...
hey, but now you can hear my insightful input, such as cardboard box, good.
Mm-hmm. They didn't do Ghostbusters, which had no new product reveals. There was
people don't like that movie. I will be waiting with bated breath. For some reason, I don't know why that reason would be. I just have.
You actually want Egon's ghost to be in the movie?
That would sound horrible. It would be horrible.
Here's the thing. Realistically, I don't know. It all depends on how they play it.
See, here's the thing. I really think they're just going to go as sappy as possible, and that'll turn me into the living groan.
But here's the thing. I love these characters, and if it's sappy, I'm just going to go like, God.
But it's sappily unethical in a way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it unethical if it's his state trying to preserve his legacy because his family is part of the movie creating it?
I guess, but like, I don't know, it's something about it just seems like a bit like weird.
Like,
well, I mean, we've already crossed this bridge once we had Tupac perform a concert and we had Grand Moff Tarkin show up in a fucking.
Well, those were bad things.
I don't like that either, and like my whole point is like fucking. I get that you have a bunch of attachment to Ghostbusters, Boingo, but like Bygo, excuse me. To me, the first two Ghostbusters movies are just a bunch of silly bullshit. Like fucking Bill Murray has no idea what's actually going on. He's just running around saying shit he thinks is funny. And now people act like we're gonna get this movie that is gonna act like every little thing from that original movie is a precious, hold dear nostalgia touchstone, like it's the new Star Wars.
I don't think it should be like that, and I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's. I
just
don't
move
know how
on.
to.
This has
Also,
nothing to do with the podcast.
watch Red Letter Media. Thank you very much.
I love Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters good. It should be treated as the weirdo sci-fi property that it is.
Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when
I hope it
November
gets
comes
treated
around.
like a weirdo sci-fi. You know what? You're right, Boeing. But you're right, Beister. We're taking way too long on this.
Sorry.
Let's
We'll
talk
talk more when the movie comes out, and then we'll have my opinion as the
Yeah,
resident.
we'll have
There's going to be
savage fights on the streets. And by streets, I
look
mean
forward
internet.
to the Ghostbusters Afterlife spoiler cast coming in a few weeks.
Ah,
Right.
great.
If I can go see it, that's another thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'll be able to go see Eternals. I'm gonna talk to Snowcone and just go like, "Hey, you want to pick up my dumbass and fucking go watch a movie?"
All right, let's talk about Transformers, everybody, said the one guy in the room who actually cares.
I
like
kind of care.
Transformers.
I like Beast Wars.
You got my new favorite Transformer after I realized what his fucking alt mode is.
Fair enough.
What's with all the purple on this poster that is on the article?
I do not know. Okay,
I mean,
so
I like purple
Because
but
we've
like,
been going from 80s nostalgia, we are probably getting heavy G2, Beast Wars,
yeah,
original RID.
Okay, so can we go in fucking order here?
Okay, I'm speculating. I don't know what shit. All I know is 2 robots got announced.
Mm-hmm. They opened talking about just the newest stills and whatnot from Rise of the Beasts, which is just the cars, and they look like cars. I've never been one to care about stills of cars from the new movies. I'm sorry. I know there's gearheads out there going like, oh, it's a 19 fucking budget fucker. And I'm like, great, cool.
That is a nice Ducati, and I really do appreciate that.
Give me a trailer.
But I want to see it as a robot. Show me it as a robot.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that off-road Camaro. I love off-road versions of muscle cars. Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm excited for this movie. Bumblebee was a great film, so I'm like, oh, okay, what are they gonna do with like a proper, like a full-on reboot with like other characters?
Then they talked about Transformers: The Experience, which is a theme park ride. I think it's either that or it's an AR thing.
New immersive experience. It's a tourist attraction. I'm not sure if this is going to.
Yeah,
be
it's a
What
theme
it
park
looks
thing.
like to me is less of a theme park. It looks more like an installation at a Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Then they talked about Beyond Reality, which is a semi-new mobile game. I think it's been around for a while. Then they announced Transformers Cross Smite. Okay.
Can I have my funny comment about this?
Sure.
I can connect Transformers to Ruby and Rooster Teeth in 2 ways now. One, because a bunch of Rooster Teeth guys worked on the Netflix War for Cybertron trilogy show, and now because Smite crossed over with Ruby and also Smite crossed over with Transformers.
I do really dig the Megatron character design for this.
I love how you just
that'll make a great third-party figure one day.
That looks like early, like, is it Dreamwave Megatron?
Possibly.
Or is it like first era of like IDW version of Megatron?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Then John Sheeta Jr. Stumbled in on his walker to help announce that Transformers Legacy is real. The thing that got leaked months ago, the new replacement for Generations, except officially it's Transformers Generations Legacy, which is fucking obnoxious, but whatever.
How many Collins?
Yeah, it's a new real subline, and good god, the poster looks G2 as fucking art style.
Oh yeah,
like it looks like those old CGI commercials. I don't know.
I guarantee you, 98% of the nostalgia for G2 is just because of Thew.
Mm-hmm.
Thew is single-handedly fueling it.
All right, so they unveiled the whole first wave, which is okay. Let me say them, and we can talk about them. Deluxe Class Skids, Deluxe Class Drag Strip, Deluxe Class Prime RC, Deluxe Class Kickback, Voyager Prime Bulkhead, and leader class Laser Optimus Prime.
They're finally releasing that boy?
They've done this in generations before, but it's been like 10 years.
Here's a picture.
And here's the thing.
No, I thought. Okay, no, I was thinking of the Armada Prime.
No. Laser Optimus Prime is a G2 figure that then became Scourge in RID, which is the main thing about that figure. Everybody's really excited for the inevitable Scourge repaint. And I'm like, great. I have no nostalgic personal attachment to those designs whatsoever, so I'll probably skip both versions. Also, I find it hilarious that everybody is complaining about the fact that it's clearly based off of the Siege/Earthrise Optimus Prime mold, when it's like, that's a good-ass mold. Why wouldn't they base it off of that? Like, it has the exact same legs, and people were going, oh god, Hasbro's being lazy, and I'm like, you do know the Seekers exist, right? Skids looks very, very cool. I'm glad G1 Skids is finally getting his due in the Generations line.
Wait, is Skids the yellow guy?
No, he's the blue boy.
Okay.
However, he has never been one of my boys. I appreciate that there's people out there who like him, but it's a skip for me.
Well, I mean, there is a certain reason I do enjoy myself.
I know,
the Skitty boy.
It's one of your favorite cars.
I love the Honda City Turbo too. I have no idea why. It is a goal of mine to import at least 3 of them. 1 for stock, 1 for off-road modding, and 1 to just fucking down the road.
It's a great car. It's a really cool looking car. The thing is, I'll look at Skids and I'm always just like, that just looks like a guy. I don't really care about him. However, I will say Masterpiece Skids has me slightly tempted, or rather, Masterpiece Reboost, the Diaclone style repaint that's just Skids in Optimus Prime colors and comes with the frickin' moped. That I kind of want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this doesn't have a moped, which is sad.
Drag strip, yay, he's super G1 accurate. I don't give a flying fuck about the Stunticons. I have never gotten Stunticon hype. I think a lot of them have really bad character designs. And also, Snowcone told me, yes, it was 7 years ago, Combiner Wars, but I feel like we just did these guys.
Mm-hmm.
This guy looks like Dale from King of the Hill.
It's true. Okay, now for the one I'm considering, Prime RC, I just think Robot Girl neat.
Yeah, that's a really cool pull and really smart for them sales-wise, because I'm sure this isn't why you like her, Buster, but like, she is the #1 fucking Transformers waifu right now.
No, that's the reason why I like her.
Okay. I just didn't want to kick you right out the gate, but okay, now.
I'm gonna be a bitch.
It will happen. I like it. It's a great choice. It's really cool that we're getting Prime representation. I'm a little bit sore that we're getting Prime representation before Unicron Trilogy representation, but whatever.
Okay, I'm still waiting for animated, man.
Yeah, where's animated? Where's Robots in Disguise? We did Beast Wars. Where's Beast Machines?
No, okay, maybe we can skip Beast Machines. I'm sorry, I do not like characters.
No.
Give me Strika.
You have to have the weirdo neo-biological robot weirdos. You have to have them.
Also, like, just talking about this figure specifically, is it me? Does the face sculpt look a little lifeless? Do the proportions look a little chunkier than you'd expect?
Yeah. It looks like in the same way that Generations was looking at G1 but new. This is like, okay, we're trying to make Prime fit in with the general aesthetic of Transformers as an overall brand.
Yeah, this is, like, it's not straight Prime RC, it's evergreen Prime RC. Which, you know,
they want this Prime RC to be able to stand next to a G1 style Optimus Prime and work.
Which, you know, fair enough, but it's just not entirely wanted.
If I may just also present an idea, what if we get a Junkion out of this mold?
Well, we just got a Junkion in the Studio series, so I would love it if those two are compatible.
Because I was just looking at the back and I was going like, that looks like a very Junkion back.
It might be resculpting of that Junkion. I'm not sure. I don't have that figure in hand. But Kickback was not expecting him. Wasn't really wanting him, but like, yo, new Insecticons Deluxe class? Fuck, maybe. Okay. Like, I had the Legends ones and I liked them. I had to sell them because I needed space and money, but like, I'll do them again. In
All right.
I'll do him in deluxe class. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Okay. Fuck, I'm a little bitch.
I do like him. He looks good.
Yeah, and like he looks, aside from, and like I guess this is when we can acknowledge the elephant in the room. Aside from the glowy weapons, he looks very cool and very.
I mean, fair enough.
Buster, that's gonna sound weird.
It's no weirder than a regular podcast, I don't think.
Fair enough. For those of you who don't know, Buster is having mic issues, so apparently they're using talk to text now. I regret this so much. So the glowy weapons.
Give Buster the veil of anonymity. They turn into a little fucking animal.
Mm-hmm. The weird, glowy, translucent weapons. How are we feeling about them?
Ain't the worst thing.
Yeah, it's not a terrible line-wide gimmick, but also like it feels very random. It feels random in the same way MechTech felt random. Of just like, this isn't inherently bad, but I can't see why. Like it's not like effects parts where it's like, okay, there's a clear application here, or the builder bots from the previous trilogy of toys. But anyway, let's talk about the other guy who was along with Skids revealed ahead of PulseCon actually. Bulkhead.
I like this design.
I want to like it. I hate that his torso is a box.
I don't mind that his torso is a box because it keeps the general silhouette of big, broad shoulders that he has.
Yeah, I get what they're doing. I get the mindset here. It's clearly a fusion of Prime and movie into a sort of Yeah. Like, it's clearly meant to be a fusion into something that looks G1-ish and evergreen, but like, I think a Bulkhead is a round boy. And like, if you're gonna do a Bulkhead, I want straight up animated Bulkhead, or I want straight up Prime Bulkhead. I don't. You're giving me an inch here, and I was expecting a mile from the leaks, and that's partially my fault. But like,
here's the thing: I am trying to think of how they could get a good, accurate round boy Bulkhead without astronomically making the price that much bigger.
I think you'd have to go to a leader class, honestly.
And Bulkhead doesn't fit that kind of price point. He's not that popular of a character. It makes more sense to simplify his design to fit in this general aesthetic so you can have the figure. And think of it like this. Bulkhead now has two designs. You can have the simple design for a regular release figure like this, and then you can have round designs for bigger, funner, more expensive toys.
I just thought of something. Is the text-to-speak coming out of Buster's mic? Because I don't know if Craig's going to pick it up.
I don't know.
Like, the last couple minutes might have sounded very odd, I just realized.
Either way, it'll be funny.
Okay. So, then they showed the boxes off, and it's just the War for Cybertron trilogy boxes, but with the saturation cranked up, and oh god, I hate my life.
They're cool.
I don't like.
Back, you're just gonna have to realize this is what toy packaging is going to look like for the future. I
realize it, but also I'm sad.
Well, I mean, people were sad when they started taking lead out of gas. Doesn't mean it wasn't a good idea.
What a fucking pull! Okay, fair enough. Then they had Guido Guidi on to introduce the Pulse exclusive, or I think it's fan channel exclusive actually, Galvatron, which is meant to look like him in the process of being reformatted from Megatron, and also it comes with a fuck ton of accessories for your HasLab Unicron.
That's cool.
Like a second display stand with just all the little bits and bobs they've been slowly trickling out in one tidy piece. You get all three of the key ships from the movie. You get all the little guys and gals in grayscale. It's nice, you know. People will people will like it and definitely not bitch about the fact that it's another $60 on top of a $300 purchase they made.
Here's a question I have. Would it be cool if they made little versions of the robots from the scene that could attach to a clear stand that
Okay, so in case y'all couldn't hear it, Buster's leaving to get food, and they may or may not come back.
but a little clear stand and like little miniatures of Megatron and all the other busted up Decepticons like floating around Unicron, so you can have that as like the display.
That would have been really cool, but like they would have had to have been so tiny in the wireframing for it. I don't know how you would do that.
Hey, 3D printers, printer people, fucking there you go, project boy.
But that was the end of Transformers, and then they rolled into, or I think there were one or two things between it that weren't really specifically the kind of toys we're into. But they ended the day off with Star Wars, and they talked they immediately jumped into Vintage Collection, which is the current 3 3/4-inch line that's very collector focused. They revealed that they're doing episode 1 Anakin, and he's going to come with a training droid and helmet based off of the episode 2 scene with all the kids and Yoda. They're doing a Mace Windu that looks pretty solid, a season 4 Ahsoka Tano, which is, that's cool. I'm glad they're coming back and redoing that look to make it more accurate. However, I'm still waiting for that look in Black Series, dang it. Because it's the best Ahsoka look, I'm just saying. Oh, and they're doing Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan. I forgot about that for a second, which is weird because Obi-Wan's my favorite Star Wars character. But whatever. I don't particularly care about the Vintage Collection stuff, but it's neat that it's still happening for those who do. That's how I feel about that kind of stuff. Any input there by Go Writer?
Yeah, they look fine. I bet Cody's excited because he likes the 3 3/4 figures.
Okay.
I mean, in general, he likes that scale.
Yeah. They then reminded everybody of the recently announced Muddy Mando Target exclusive, and they introduced a Snowy Mando Target exclusive based off of the Ice Spiders episode, which is a really cool idea for a repaint, honestly. I love the way it looks. Like it honestly looks way more different than I would initially think it would. I love that it comes with a static ice spider. Like if it wasn't for the fact that it comes with a pack, if the ice spider came on its own, I would want to army build those because those are a cool creature. And another Baby Yoda statue. Hooray!
I mean, like there's only so much Baby Yoda versions you can make in that scale.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think this is a Target or the Black Series is a Target exclusive, and they're doing the same thing in Vintage Collection, which I think is a fan channel exclusive. And they both look fine. Then they got into Black Series mainline reveals, and it was all Mandalorian-oriented stuff, which, yay, I like Mandalorian, but, like, where the fuck is the sequel stuff? Where the fuck is the prequel stuff? I'm glad that we're giving Original Trilogy a bit of a rest, because there's so many Original Trilogy figures in the line at this point, but, like, we're still not even halfway done with the Jedi Council. I'm just putting that out there. Anyways, Old Billy Plastic Balls. They finally did it.
Yeah.
He looks great. I'm really happy with how the figure turned out. I know there's some people who wanted the Prison Break look, which, yeah, I want that look too. But, like, this is really smart on Hasbro's part, because for the people who want Mayfeld, it's like, yes, there, finally, my Mayfeld figure. But for the army builders, it's also like, oh shit, a new trooper to army build. Because you just pop that helmet on, he's generic as fuck.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And even comes with the helmet on in the box. So very, very good. Very good decision marketing wise, I'd say. This is, I'll go ahead and say up front, it's the one reveal from the Star Wars panel. I'm like, I have to have that because I'm a huge fan of Bill Burr as a stand-up comedian, and Mayfeld is one of my favorite characters in The Mandalorian. I think both his episodes are the best episodes of their respective seasons. But then they revealed, I believe they called it Wasteland or like Wanderer, Boba Fett, which is him in the Tatooine gear that he first shows up, even though they call this Typhon, because that's the planet they were on when he showed up in this look and then fucked up all those stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And he looks okay.
Boba Hobo.
Yeah, Boba Hobo, but like also that cloak looks like it's gonna be a pain in the ass to pose, and I don't think it's their best Tamara Morrison sculpt. I think the Captain Rex face they did was better. And that's a little disappointing, because that figure came out like, what, 5-6 years ago now?
That figure. I don't know what that looks like, so I don't know how it would compare.
Fair enough. Well, how do you feel about it just in a bubble?
It looks fine. He looks like an older version of that man.
Yeah. However, it's not the look. I have held out for free versions of Boba Fett now, counting this one, because I didn't want Empire Strikes Back. I didn't like the deluxe Return of the Jedi one looked really cool, but I didn't feel like I needed it. And like, I'm not getting this one. I am holding out for Old Man Boba in the armor. I want that look from the end of the season, and I want a removable helmet on that. Like, just take this head sculpt and sculpt a helmet that can be put over it.
Nice.
That's what I want, Hasbro. Give me what I want. This is fine, though. I'm sure there are plenty of people who will buy this. And I'm also sure there are plenty of people who will buy Deluxe Cobb Vamp, because that's a character who needed a deluxe release.
Sure, why not? He seemed like a fan favorite when he was on the show.
Yeah, because he's pulled from the EU. So, like, I get it. But also, like, he only had one episode. And, like, to the average viewer, it's like, oh yeah, that guy was cool. I don't need him, but he was cool. And by the average viewer, I mean myself. Like, he looks good. He looks as good as he could possibly look. I just don't. I'm not getting him, you know?
I don't know why, but he just reminds me of Tremors.
He does kind of look like a Tremors character, yeah. But, you know, like, with these guys being revealed, my mind also goes to, like, all right, cool, more Mandalorian figures, but this isn't even enough to fill out a wave. Can we, where's what's her name? Ming-Na Wen. Where's oh god, what was the other one I wanted?
The nanny on Tatooine, the one who takes care of Grogu whenever Mandalorian has to go do shit.
Yeah, Princess Carolyn. Let's get her. Let's get guy played by what's his name? Michael Biehn. Let's get Michael Biehn. Let's get Mandalorian Ahsoka. Let's get those characters in the line. I want those.
Werner Herzog. Give me a Werner Herzog Black Series figure.
We've not done Werner Herzog yet. Holy shit, I hadn't even thought of that. But yeah.
Here's the thing. You can just put Werner Herzog on the figure and most people go like, oh, that's a Star Wars name. That's a Star Wars name. And then all the film dweebs will go like, the fuck is Werner Herzog doing here?
And they're like, and I'm like, did you watch the show? Watch the show. It's a good show.
No, it's Star Wars, which is plebeian trash.
Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, they also announced a new vintage collection playset, which is the cantina that they have to take refuge in at the end of season 1, which is cool. But I don't exactly feel like I need that, even regardless of the fact that I'm not a free and free quarter-inch guy. What I do like and would feel like I needed if I was a free and free quarter-inch guy, they're doing an Army Builder 4-pack of Rebel troops. And they're all like noticeably different, even though they're all but one of them share the same body. I really dig it.
Yeah, they look good. They look very like episode 4.
Mm-hmm. Like I would definitely go for those guys if I was collecting vintage collection. And then to get into some Black Series stuff, I do want to go for, but no, I probably won't be able to because of weird exclusivity stuff. They announced this year's fucking oh god, I forgot the name of the park. The Galaxy Adventures, Galaxy's Edge. They announced the new Galaxy's Edge exclusive sets. The first one is First Order themed. It is a new Hux. Finally, we have a Hux with face printing. Thank God, we've needed a new Hux for so long. There is a First Order pilot. There is a First Order astromech and a First Order mouse droid. Very, very solid pack. I would love to pick that one up for Hux alone. Then they announced a droids pack, which is the Imperial interrogation droid, but a generic version. Another release of the battle droid, a remolded ball droid in red. Babu Frick is getting a re-release in this pack of all things.
I mean, he's a mechanic.
And for the first time in the line, the pod racing repair pit droid.
Now this is pod racing.
I knew that was coming. Really cool. I love that we're getting it. However, I'm a little worried that it's exclusive to the pack. Like I've got to get my hands on that droid somehow. Hopefully they do the same thing they did with the first round of 4 packs, and eventually the unique figures get released as Target exclusives.
I do like how it's a mix of kind of droids from throughout the eras.
Mm-hmm. It's very smart, very ergonomic, I'd say. Then they had a creatures multi-pack, which is actually a bunch of new sculpts. We have the only returning thing is the Porgs. We've had the Porgs before, both as Target exclusives and in Galaxy's Edge multi-packs before. But you get a Minok, which is really cool. I was never expecting to get that in the Black Series. A Bogling, which very random, but also okay. I take it. And then 2 different Kowakian monkey lizards, one of which looks very familiar. I need those boys. I need those boys. I don't have any of the Jabba Palace crew, but like I gotta have Salacious Crumb, dude.
Yeah, Crumb.
Mm-hmm. So those 4 packs all look great in my opinion. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a hold of any of them just because the Galaxy's Edge exclusivity, but we shall see. And then probably the biggest surprise of the whole panel for me, they're doing Leia's lightsaber from Rise of Skywalker.
Why not? They got the fucking prop.
Mm-hmm. It was on screen for like 10 seconds though, so I was like, okay.
Buddy, they've made toys of characters who was only on for 1 second. Fair enough.
And like the last lightsaber they did was Rey's lightsaber from the end of Rise of Skywalker, so you know what, I take it back. It's not that surprising. Then they did some pipeline reveals for the Black Series, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but whatever. The Cantina band, we're getting at least one of them. They said a specific character name, so it's very much the guy they're zoomed in on there, probably. Ewok Village Leia, which, even though it's like the 8th Leia we've gotten in this line, I'm actually kind of excited about it because, like, that has always been the look my mind goes to when I think of Leia. I don't know why, but that's just the one I think of. That's how I think of Leia looking when I read EU novels.
You mean 70s horse girl?
Yeah. Just her facial features and the hairdo, but like Jedi robes. That's how I think of her when I'm reading EU novels. So like, I kind of want it. I'll wait and see what the actual figure looks like, but I do kind of want it. And then, weirdly enough, for the fans of the Mandalorian Prison Break episode, they're doing the New Republic security droid.
Robot Cellman. Just that snow cone.
Fair enough. And then the Vintage Collection, they are doing, I believe it's Jesse, the clone that was yelling at Rex during Order 66 when Rex got his chip removed and he was trying to bluff Ahsoka out of there. And then the Ahsoka clone trooper and the Mandalorian Super Commando, and they're in Vintage Collection. They are doing Din in the patrol trooper disguise that we're getting from day one. We've been going almost an hour and a half, and that is day one. Though when I compress silence, it'll probably be more like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. So any closing thoughts on Star Wars real quick before I move on to day 2 stuff?
It looks neat. I understand how they're trying to play the sequel stuff with a specific hand. I'm sad because I like the sequel trilogy, but
Yeah.
we are a small but growing minority of Star Wars fans.
Like, here's the thing. I wasn't hoping for anything in specific, except for I knew there had been a leaked listing for Bill Burr, so I was hoping to see Bill Burr, and I got to see Bill Burr, so that's great. But also, I wish it had been a little more diverse on the Black Series side. Like, I wish we had gotten 1 or 2 figures from something besides Mandalore.
And I think ultimately it's because people just decided to shit on the sequel trilogy, that they're going like, well, we know these aren't going to sell. They're just going to peg warm. So why make them now when we can just make figures everybody wants and we'll just be light a few waves until...
But, you know, fair enough, but, like, they were super gung-ho about finally doing prequel figures last year. So I'm like, what happened? What happened? I want to complete the council.
Because it probably got wrapped up in the sequel hate.
Yeah.
No, the sequels suck. You know what also sucks? The prequels.
Yeah, go talk about horror movies, Mike Stokloska.
I just realized it's been a thought in my head for a bit about the prequel trilogy. You know, there's a reasonable, logical idea of why they feel a little bit more corny, a little bit more weird, because that was George Lucas making the pulp that inspired Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
The prequel trilogy is just a little bit more Flash Gordon than the original trilogy is.
It's also the fact that there's deleted scenes for the original trilogy that make it more like that. But because George was on a tighter leash back then, those scenes didn't make it into the film. Whatever. So day 2 kicked off with G.I. Joe, and I'm going to say it straight away. This was my favorite panel of the whole show. I was going into this super trepidatious, thinking like, okay, Snake Eyes flopped, and also there's been no news about the classified series in months. This might be like, here's the last couple things we're able to get out before they shut us down again. And instead, it was like reveal after reveal, banger, fan favorite shit, really cool advances in articulation, and also just totally gung-ho. They said like 8 times the line is going to continue into the next year, and we're very excited about what's to come.
Reassuring, hey, just because the movie flopped doesn't mean this line is truncated. This line itself is making money by itself. We're fine.
Mm-hmm.
From the outside, I've never been the biggest G.I. Joe fan. This feels like the first line, like the first wave that is like G.I. Joe.
Yeah, and like I'm a G.I. Joe casual too, but like this was all either stuff I had been really wanting as a casual G.I. Joe guy, or stuff that like instantly won me over. Because the first fucking thing they show before they really even say anything else is just, here's the bat. We know you want bats. Here's the bat. You can't pre-order it today, but it's coming soon. Look at it. Isn't it amazing? And yes, it's amazing.
I know the toy Cody's buying like 10 of.
Mm-hmm. And I really like it, because there's 2 different face sculpts, one of which is battle damaged. It has all the swappable arms, and they also added in a removable chest plate. So it has the retro chest plate, but it's also still got a more modern look to it. Like, it feels so incredibly smart, and it uses every bit of the Black Series articulation and design scheme to its advantage. It's everything I could have possibly wanted in a bat figure. I want a couple of these.
Then after that, we got a D&D character.
Yeah, well, 1 second before we go on to that, they did also show the unique box art, because every classified series figure has unique box art, and they also announced that now on the Trendmasters website, you will be able to buy all the box art as posters, which I thought was cool, because people had been constantly talking about how cool the different kinds of box art were in the line. But then they talked about Master of Disguise Zartan, who is the PulseCon exclusive this year, which was kind of funny, because they acted like he was a brand new reveal, but like John Hasbro himself has been sending this figure out to people to pimp out to promote the show for like 3 months now.
Yeah, he still looks like a super D&D character.
Mm-hmm. I think it's neat, but it's not something I need. Like, Zartan's one of those guys that I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I don't really need him right off the bat. But then they announced something that basically confirmed a whole bunch of stuff instantly for me because, to give some inside baseball, there's been a leaked list of pretty much the entire next year of G.I. Joe toys going around that somebody got out of Target Systems. And one of the biggest things on there was they're not doing the Cobra Island subline anymore. They're doing Python Patrol versus Tiger Force as sort of a repaint or pre-paint subline. So it's like not necessarily stuff you need, but it's also a fan favorite thing that certain people will really want. But guys like me are just like, I'll wait for the regular version, maybe.
Right.
And we got reveals here of the entire first wave, which is Tiger Force Outback, Python Patrol Viper, and Python Patrol Bat, who all look really cool. Outback is the only unique sculpt in the wave, and like I like him. I look forward to when I can get him without a ridiculous tiger logo on his chest.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Is it also? I texted this to Cody, so I have to ask you: does the face sculpt remind you of Old Man Hawkeye? Because that was the first thing I thought was, oh, they stole that head sculpt from the Marvel Legends team.
Maybe my brain went to Old Man Whistler from Blade.
Yeah, it does look like Whistler.
Chris Christopherson.
And hey, there hasn't been a Marvel Legends Whistler, so custom fodder. And the Viper and the Bat. Like, hey, the Bat is technically a new character for G.I. Joe, so that's cool. But, like, the color scheme is super ugly to my eyes, so I'm not getting
I like it. It feels super weirdo 60s pulp sci-fi.
Mm-hmm. And I think
That's
it's rooted in, like... Go ahead.
That'd be the bad guy chasing Johnny Quest.
Yeah. And it's like rooted in 90s garishness too. So like I get why people would like it, but it's just not for me. What is for me though is the next mainline figure they revealed via a video call-in from oh god, I feel like a dick. I forgot his name. Let me scroll up to the top of the article. Oh wow, they didn't actually list his name in the article, but a member of the Black Eyed Peas who is a long out and proud toy collector and G.I. Joe fan, came in to reveal Spirit for the line, which is really cool because this guy is one of the earliest big Native American music celebrities, and he talked a whole lot about consulting with different tribes and whatnot to sort of de-stereotype this character while still keeping true to the original look. And I think they did a really good job because he's not a tracker anymore, he's a sniper now, but he still has that distinctly cartoony Native American look to him.
Yeah, like, I understand many... Here's the thing, we're both white people, so remember, take this with giant grains of salt. I understand completely when minority groups do not like how they are portrayed by ignorant white writers. I really like the approach of them, of like people who appreciate the material going like, no, y'all fucked up,
but let's fix it.
Let's fix it because we can understand you fucked up, not necessarily out of hate, but out of ignorance. So let's educate, you know?
Mm-hmm. And also, like, before he went into I consulted on this figure and I consulted with other people on my consulting, he was like, yo, I grew up with G.I. Joe. Spirit was my favorite character because he was Native American and I was Native American. And it's like, okay, yeah, representation matters. Bubba bam.
Representation matters, but let the people who it's representing help lead the representation.
Mm-hmm. However, with all that talk about Spirit, I don't actually care about Spirit. He's never really been one of my guys. It's really impressive all the effort they put into making this figure as good as it possibly can. But like, I just want to buy it for the bird because like, it's a highly articulated bald eagle. Holy shit!
Like, no, genuinely, like, it's this guy and the dude in the tiger shirt that made me go like, oh no, now it's G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is G.I. Joe to me, where it's guys in like semi-military gear, but a little bit more civilian, who look like they really want to help people out.
Yeah. And like the Freedom, that's the bald eagle's name. Freedom is a classic part of the figure, so it's really cool that they managed to come back and pack him in like they did with the recent Commando Snake Eyes and putting Timber in there. And like I love the new trend in this line of highly articulated animals. Like it's a really cool blessing in disguise that like I would have never expected.
I mean, name another Hasbro toy line where you can do that. The only other one I think is like a Ninja Storm toy, and that's just getting a hamster.
Mm-hmm. But no, I'm gonna be picking this up just for Freedom because it's such a cool little thing, and like Spirit does also look very cool in his own right. Even though I look at him and I go, that is a recolored Duke body with a new head. Just putting it out there. Oh, also another cool thing about this figure: the packaging character art was drawn by Black Eyed Peas guy's brother. So like the whole thing, Native American character, Native American creative input. Nice.
Yeah, just how it should be done.
Mm-hmm. And then the thing I have been asking for from this line since Wave 1, finally, not Arctic Mission, Amazon exclusive, not movie version, classic Storm Shadow is coming in the next wave, and I am so excited because, like, when it comes to G.I. Joe, yes, cool, military, splody, outdoorsy men are nice, but like the ninjas are my bread and butter. So I'm very excited.
Nice.
Yeah. And like I love how excited they were about the reveal too, because they said all that too. They were like, we're not doing Arctic Mission, we're not doing this. We know you guys have been waiting, so here it is. And they also like it's clear that like they were super into the development of the figure, because they actually said at one point they were going to have the bow actually be able to fire the arrow that it comes with, and then legal got on their ass about that.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
But no, it looks absolutely perfect. I love that there's optional up and down hood pieces. The backpack looks really neat. And it's exactly what I wanted from a classic Storm Shadow. Well, not exactly. I'm more of like a sleeves and coat guy, but like I can do a sleeveless, coatless Storm Shadow. That's still cool to me, as long as it looks like a dude mostly in white who is a ninja. That's my Storm Shadow, you know?
Yeah.
And then the final classified reveal of the panel was something that was on the leak list, because I went back and checked, but it was not in my head at all. We're getting fucking Crocmaster, which is amazing, because he was a late game semi-obscure boy that became a fan favorite over the decades.
He looks like a He-Man character.
Uh-huh. And, like, I'm not necessarily excited about him himself. Again, I'm excited about the fucking animal he comes with, because it's a fully articulated 6-inch scale crocodile, and they said her name is Fiona. And she comes with 2 little baby crocodiles who are named Diablo and Georgie.
You know dang well that alligator should be named Frank.
Mm-hmm. Also, excuse me, she's not an alligator, she is a crocodile. They said crocodile.
It's yeah.
And like, just the articulation scheme on Fiona looks so crazy, because she's got an opening jaw, a ball-jointed head, a mid-torso joint, universal joints at each limb, and universal joints at the feet, and her tail is a freaking bendy wire. It's the first time Hasbro's done a bendy wire in like 15 years. It's so cool. And like, again, Crocmaster is not one of my guys when it comes to G.I. Joe at all. But because of the holy shit, they put their everything into this factor, I want to get the fig in a separate article. Let me go to the His Tank homepage real quick. Because they didn't talk about the introduction of... I think they're abandoning their retro collection, which was their 3 3/4 inch line, in favor of a Pulse exclusive O-ring line, which, for those of you who aren't aware, O-ring construction is how G.I. Joes were made pretty much up until the 2010s, which is the whole rubber band on the inside thing. And they were very clear about we paid special attention to like update the plastic tolerances, so these should not break immediately, or it should not be easy to break them immediately, and they should not degrade for like decades to come. So, because that's always been a problem, is the rubber snapping or degrading from aging, and like also because of the way the hands are sculpted, some of those plastic tolerances, just you put a weapon in there and immediately the fingers snap off with those older G.I. Joes. And here they were like, we updated the plastic tolerances, so you'll be able to play with these, no worries. And the first thing they're doing is a 2-pack of Commando Snake Eyes and Classic Storm Shadow, which look, it's insanely accurate to the original figures, which is very... It's not exactly my bag, but it's really cool that they're doing it for the people who are. You know, it's that kind of thing where I have the appreciation of it as a toy guy. And then they got into probably the biggest surprise of all of PulseCon, in my opinion. They're already doing a G.I. Joe HasLab, and it's for this O-Ring subline. It's going to be a new Sky Striker, which is the G.I. Joe fighter jet. And it's going to come with a ton of accessories. It's going to have 2 pilot figures, multiple sticker sheets that you can make it either accurate to the cartoon, the original toy, or the real-life plane it's based off of. And the reward tiers are like a bunch of cool additional pieces. And like, they're upfront about all of the reward tiers. It's not, we'll tell you as we get to them, or or here's the first one and we'll tell you about the other ones later. It's straight up, here is the plan with this thing. This is what we're doing. Let's make it happen. And it's like, okay, I'm not a 3 3/4 inch guy, but like, this is very tempting just from how very A-game this reveal seemed to me.
Yeah, looks cool. It makes total sense to start using vehicles for HasLab and stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. And like, another great thing about this is like, yeah, we were all kind of pulling for Classified Series His Tank as the first G.I. Joe HasLab, but like, this is a stepping stone to that. And this will do well because Sky Striker is like one of the most fan favorites G.I. Joe, old school G.I. Joe things. Like it is like their Soundwave in terms of things. So this will fund, no doubt about it. And because it goes well, we'll probably be getting a Classified Series 1 next. And who knows what that's actually going to be, but it should be cool. And then after that, we got Hero Quest and the board game team, basically. They talked about the Hero Quest HasLab again, because that was last year, but it still hasn't shipped yet. And then they also talked about, they unveiled a new version of Risk, which Cody was very excited about, but I was just kind of tuned out for that. And then we got the Fortnite team doing their first live stream event, and oh boy, did it seem like it. They all seemed very nervous and very unused to doing this kind of thing, but you know, I gave them a pass because it's their first time. And you know, I'm not a big Fortnite guy. I don't play the game. I haven't bought any of the toys yet. But it's another Hasbro 6-inch line, so it's like, these are cool. These are cool. It's cool to check in on them. And they went over the whole first wave again, which is, it's a bunch of sculpts that I'm like, I don't need that, but that looks like a cool toy. They showed off the arcade cabinet accessory packs, which is just really cool to me as a figure photography guy. Like, ooh, I don't buy almost went into like a Boston accent there. I don't buy Fortnite toys, but I might buy these just for figure photography.
They look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's gun storage on the back.
Yeah. And then they unveiled that they're now doing gliders as vehicles, which, as I understand it, gliders are a very big part of the Fortnite game, and it's something that's not been done in any of the toys yet. So it's really cool that Hasbro is finally bringing those in. And they look like solid glider toys. Like, I could see giving the black one to my Classified Series Snake Eyes, honestly.
No.
And then they got into the next wave of the Victory Royale series, is what they call their 6-inch line, which is Ragsy, who looks like a more Mad Max version of the Cuddle Trooper, who I remember being like the initial mascot of Fortnite. So, hey, cool, finally they're getting a version of her in. Then they talked about oh god, this guy's name was like a disco pun. Funkops. And is it just me, or does because he's got the big yellow shirt, did you look at this and go, oh, it's Disco Luke Cage?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
So he looks fun and neat, but not necessarily something I need. And then they showed off, oh god, what was this guy's name? Bushranger, who Cody was flipping his shit over because apparently this is one of Cody's mains.
I mean, it's a good looking toy.
Mm-hmm. Like, he looks like a Pokemon, and I'm honestly kind of into him for that reason. Like, I could see putting him into a grass-type Pokemon figures display, or putting him into the background of a Star Wars display, because he kind of looks like a Wookiee, but, like, if a Wookiee was a grass-type Pokemon, it's neat. And then there was... I keep scrolling up to look at the names. Metal Mouth, who also looks like something you could fudge into another line. He looks like he could go in with your G.I. Joes. He's a solid COD boy.
Or Crossbone.
Yeah, there is that. And then they announced their first deluxe, the Scientist, who is actually the first character they've done that is a version that's already been done in another line. Jazzwares did this guy, but honestly, I think Hasbro's sculpt looks a bit better, and he's going to come with a bunch of different faceplates, and he has a light-up head gimmick, which is really cool. I wouldn't have expected that from this line. So it seems like they're doing a bunch of cool, fun, experimental stuff with Fortnite, and, like, not necessarily I'm going to buy it, but, okay, neat. I know the listeners can't see it, but I have been watching your camera, Boingo, and I know you're sleeping right now, but here comes the real shit.
I don't know. I just got hit.
Fair enough. Marvel Legends. Let's talk about it. Because there was one other thing they went through before that, but it wasn't toys we care about. So fucking Marvel Legends closed out the show, and they had a whole gag about like, hey, we're so excited to be opening Pulse. Wait, we're closing it? Shit. Okay.
Yeah, from everything I've heard, it seems like these guys actually know what they're doing when it comes to live shows.
Yeah, because there was a stretch there where they were doing like a live show a week. But they started off by saying there's going to be a chat poll for what the final reveal of the stream will be. And you vote based on free clues that they had. A figure that had already been released as an SDC exclusive, a figure of a villain who had never been in Marvel Legends before, or a figure of a hero that had never been in Marvel Legends before. And I'll go ahead and say it. I voted for the thing that won. I voted for the villain. But after that, they went into the 3 3/4-inch retro style stuff. The next figures that are coming are Phoenix, Wolverine, and Reed Richards, Falcon, and Venom. And they all look fine. I don't care for this style of figure, so whatever.
The only one I like is Wolverine, and I just like it because he looks like a chunky vinyl toy.
Yeah, that's fair. But then we had our first reveal, which I was messaging you trying to get you to get on for it because they had a full-length interview with Donny Cates. A lot of this stream was full-length interviews with creators from around Marvel.
That's nice. But it's Noel.
Yeah, they showed Donny Cates Noel, and the thing was, Donny Cates didn't actually know why he was on. They were like, hey, we want to show you something and talk to you about comics. And he's like, okay, what are you showing me? Because I want to know what I'm going to be talking about. And they're like, no, we want to show you it on this live stream. And he's like, oh, okay. And then they showed him Noel, and he was like, my baby!
My fucking OC is permanently canon.
Mm-hmm. And they also asked him, like, hey, so we're not announcing anything else, but are there any other things you've made that you'd like to see as Marvel Legends? And then he went off to list pretty much every other OC he's done.
Yo, I want Eddie Brock's kid with the chains.
Mm-hmm. He also said he wants a HasLab level figure of himself. And he closed out by saying, it hasn't started yet, but I'm about to be the head writer on Hulk, and I'm going to have a new look for Hulk that you guys will probably want to make a figure of. Check it out. The first arc is called Smastronaut, Hulk in Space again. And I'm like, all right, I'll read it.
I mean, Immortal Hulk was very, very good, and it makes total sense to try and do something completely different from that.
But then they bid farewell to Donnie and said that the next thing they were unveiling is their next Walgreens exclusive, which should be coming in late spring. And it's finally in this line, Classic Baron Zemo. And he looks beautiful. They've done MCU Baron Zemo, they've done modern Baron Zemo, but finally we have classic sockhead, puffy shoulders Zemo. And yeah, I need him to go with all my Captain America figures.
It's good. It's good.
And it's one of those cases where, like, I can clearly see the reuse on this guy. Like, those are Red Skull's arms. That's the same belt from Scientist Supreme, but I don't care because it works.
Yeah, it's good.
Then they announced the next couple fan channel exclusive retro cards, which is going to be a re-release of the Family Matters free pack Scarlet Witch, now with pink versions of the Walmart Doctor Strange magic effects, which, cool. We're getting another Wanda back out there. We're getting a very popular version of Wanda back out there, and, you know, I don't actually have a Wanda yet, so I might cop this.
It's a good looking Wanda.
Mm-hmm. And then they announced they're doing a White Vision, which I was like, okay, yeah, probably the best time to do it. I don't have any want for it, but smart move.
It's for West Coast Avengers fans.
Mm-hmm. And then they had
five of them.
And then they had one of their mainstay packaging artist guys on for an interview, and they did a really cool method of a reveal where they were like, okay, so take us through your creative process. Show us how you do a sketch. And he was like, okay, here's a time lapse of me doing a sketch for a brand new figure. We're doing Vulcan finally, everybody. And I was like, who?
Summers, bro.
And I went, who? And then they said the Third Summers, bro. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely know who that is.
Do you want the story?
If you can give it to me in a couple seconds.
Do you remember when the Giant Size X-Men thing, X-Men got lost in Krakoa, and so Xavier made a brand new team to save them?
A little bit.
He made two teams. He made one team, and they failed, so he made everybody forget about them. And on that team, including Darwin, was Vulcan.
Okay.
So he was kind of a dick and an asshole because, like, y'all forgot me. Fuck you.
Has he showed up in the Hickman era at all yet?
Yes, mostly as, like, a very, very side background character.
Okay.
He has not really interacted with his brothers at all. Mainly because he's not a brother. He's related by blood, but he's not, a brother.
He's not a brother.
Yeah. He's not a brother in the same way Havoc and Cyclops are.
Like, he was probably almost already an adult by the time the other two were born, right?
It's that kind of vibe.
Okay. But the really cool thing about this is Vulcan is the new standard buck for Marvel Legends. They've built a completely new base body to replace the Bucky Cap body. And, like, it doesn't look amazing, but it looks really solid. It's got butterfly shoulders. It's got presumably waist rocker. And it overall just looks like a solid male muscle boy to use going forward. I'm not at all opposed to this.
Yeah, it looks good.
Mm-hmm. And then they announced some MCU stuff. There's going to be a new fan channel exclusive Captain America 2-pack of both Steve and Sam. Sam unfortunately won't be coming with his wings, but, like, this Steve was previously a Walmart exclusive, so now more people can get their hands on it. And also, first time they've done a non-goggles amphib, but, like, I don't think I need it. Not only because I don't collect movie figures, but, like, yeah. They're doing a new MCU Winter Soldier, because the last time they did one was when Captain America the Winter Soldier came out.
And I am being hailed. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
I mean, come on. Let's get to the next thing.
Fuck you. Yeah, I mean, MCU Winter Soldier again is like, okay, cool. Makes sense to do it now because we did briefly see him again in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but also like, I don't need that. I'm happy with my comic book Winter Soldier you guys did last year. But then they had on, which bit of backstory for you, Boingo or Bygo or what fucking Chris. Hi. So there has been a running joke in all of the Marvel live streams that two of the guys, Ryan and Dan, grew up on and are super fans of the 90s X-Men cartoon. Whereas Dwight is about 10, 15 years older than both of them and has never seen it. So they've been trying to get him to watch it for like 2 years now. And so on this stream, they had a special segment where they brought on the showrunner and one of the lead writers who are now an old married couple.
Oh, that's adorable.
Mm-hmm. And they revealed the new X-Men Toon line, which is going to be fan channel exclusive, much like the retro cards, and it's another subline in VHS packaging.
Hey, it's not a retail line.
Mm-hmm.
It is packaging for a toy that you already know what it looks like in buying off online. This is packaging purely to unpackage it.
But, like, they're talking about it like it's going to be so cool to display these, like, they're actual VHSs on your shelf. Like, remember being in your parents' basement with a bookcase full of VHSs? You can have that aesthetic again. And I'm like, who actually wants that? And then Dwight said, like, 2 different times. So if you're old like me and you're doing it right, if you buy these and display them in box, and if you're a youngin', you don't even know what I'm talking about. You just want the toy. And I'm like, okay, so a massive pet peeve of mine is people saying that young people don't know what VHSs and DVDs are, because, like, yeah, some of them probably don't, but, like, they all have access to Google. Quit saying that. It comes off as really high horse-like to me.
I don't think it's high horse. This is more of, like, it comes off to me as, like, wow, technology sure has changed.
Mm.
You guys have a calculator in your pocket. We used to have carry around this T85. Come on, man. It's fucking
fair
technology.
enough, and I think that is where it comes from. It's just like I've heard my entire life people older than me saying young people don't know what VHSs are, and I'm like, dude, I'm half your age. I know what a VHS is. I'm sure someone half my age has a 50-50 shot of being aware of what a VHS is.
I'd say it's more 60-40.
Probably, but like, so they unveiled 2 figures for this subline. The first one, of course, is another Wolverine. Oh my god, Hasbro, whatever, it's a good mold. Wolverine's a popular character, shut up. And, like, there is some different paint deco to this. It's clearly shaded like animation. And also, we're getting some new pieces here. There's a new, actually 2 new heads, one of which is growling and angry, and one of which is sad, because the third new piece is he comes with the fucking picture frame. Finally, meme Wolverine in Legends.
Meme, like, you can get so many meme Wolverines.
Mm-hmm. Like, Mondo just did one, and I feel like this is a clap back at Mondo. But, like, in the best possible way, because also, the picture frame opens up, and you can take the picture out and put whatever you want in there. They said that multiple times.
Like, hey, we know this is a fucking meme. We're doing this for you.
Have fun.
We're not allowed to say it's because of the meme.
Like Dwight said at one point, yeah, you can put whatever you want in here, but behave responsibly.
I mean, why would you want to get rid of a picture of his boyfriend and his girlfriend?
Maybe put some other, I don't know, you can put things in there. There's possibilities. And then they revealed Jubilee, who looks really good. There's actually a lot of remolding on this. It's a new coat piece, new gloves, new upper torso, and 2 new heads. Very, very surprising how much new stuff we're getting on this, but, like, looks wholly accurate to the cartoon. And, like, even though it's not exactly my mind's eye Jubilee, I'm tempted to pick it up because I still don't have a Jubilee.
It's a good Jubilee looking too.
Yeah, I dig it a fair amount.
I do appreciate the length they went to replicate, like, the graphic design of a VHS case for the toy.
Like, as much as I complain about, oh, you can't see the figure, it is cool that, like, on the spine, they have MVL Legends as the releasing company logo. That's
No,
great.
hold on, because I actually have a VHS right here behind me.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that might be the release company. I was thinking maybe that's where they might put a VHS logo.
And that's the thing as well, is fucking Ryan at one point. Oh, there's even a specific screen grab of it. Ryan at one point pulled out his original X-Men cartoon pilot VHS, which was still shrink wrapped.
Damn, that's the. Oh no, it's Night of the Sentinels. It's not. Flipping.
Oh, I thought Night of the Sentinels was the pilot.
That is the pilot for the cartoon. I thought you were talking Pride of the X-Men.
Okay. No, they're talking specifically about the 90s animated series, but like, yeah, it's a solid idea, and it's something people have been wanting for a while, though the chat did get fairly upset because they were expecting a third figure of Morph to be revealed, because cartoon Morph is something people have been asking for a long time, but like, It's a new subline that might still be coming at some point in the not too distant future. So
honestly, I think this is the best way to kind of go with packaging like this, because it's simple. It is a fun, unique experience, but you're buying it online. You don't need the classic Marvel Legends box.
Fair enough.
It could come in a brown corrugated box, and the difference would be no different.
But hey, speaking of the classic Marvel Legends box, they got to the 20th anniversary subline after that, and they showed us the cap again, and the cap still looks very cool. I like how Dwight acknowledged, oh god, blasphemy, I put holes in Captain America's shield so it could have effects parts. Boo-hoo. Like, Dwight is really passive-aggressive, and I kind of love him for that. But then we finally got to look at the packaging, and it looks fairly close. Like, yeah, it's not a full blister card, but like, does anybody actually want to open full blister bubbles again? Like, do you remember
I like this modified blister where it's like, instead of crimping it with melted plastic, it's crimped with cardboard.
Yeah, and like, that's what they've been doing for the retro cards. So I'm fine with it. Also, I love smaller bubble, so like everything looks so cluttered in there. It really looks like you're getting bang for your buck. Also, fucking classic Marvel Legends logo again. Let's go. And then they unveiled finally the second figure in the line, classic Iron Man, with probably the goofiest Tony Stark sculpt in the line so far.
I mean, that's we're not streaming, Snowy.
No Cone is in the chat.
Tell him you can hop in.
Yeah, the Tony Stark looks fine. I like the actual shading they put into the sculpted lines. But like, this is the 5th reuse of the mold, so I don't particularly feel like I need it. What I am excited about and do need is they confirmed they're doing the whole first wave. We're getting a Hulk on this card, and we're finally getting a new Toad.
Hell yeah.
The
only shame is it's not the Toad I really, really like, which is the Toad from X-Men Evolution, but I know that's never going to probably happen in the relative future, so I'm okay with it.
It'll happen when you and I are like Dwight's age. But then they revealed another general release figure who's Darkness.
No, I thought he was Despair.
Oh, Despair. Yeah, it's something with a D. I knew that. I do not recognize this man at all.
He created the superheroine that made Cloak and Dagger. He's also a demon and related to Nightmare.
So he's like an obscure Spider-Man.
Kinda. He's not really Spider. He's fought the Spider-Man. He's fought the X-Men. He's fought the Fantastic. He's lower level. He's related to Nightmare, like that Nightmare, I believe.
Yeah. I dig the Tattered Cape sculpt. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like, I would not buy this for anything other than background fodder. Also, this was the thing that won, the villain that's never been an action figure before.
I mean, fair enough.
Just I don't know why I was expecting something with more name brand recognition, like, oh, maybe they're doing another super new villain like Noel, but I don't know what I was expecting specifically. And also I was just thinking, a general complaint about Legends has been not enough villains. So I was like, let's get a villain out here. Let's do a villain. But then they did a final tease, which is a little worm-looking boy in some kind of effect puddle, and everybody, my stupid ass went, "Holy shit! They're doing a Kindred!" And then everybody went, "It's Maggot."
It's Maggot. We're getting a fucking Maggot, boy.
Yeah, which makes sense, because, again, these guys are huge X-Men fans, and huge 90s X-Men fans, so, yeah, sure, fine. It's not somebody I want, but it's cool that it's happening.
You will get Maggot, and you will love him.
Mm-hmm. But that was everything at PulseCon, and overall, I enjoyed the event. There were some major hiccups, and, like, overall nitpick. Feels like we just got one wave of worths of everything, and for a PulseCon, I would expect like 2.5 waves worth of stuff per brand. But like, I understand time and constraints, and there's shit that was supposed to be out at the beginning of summer that still hasn't made it out of ports and stuff, so they gotta hold back a little bit. But overall, I enjoyed it. I think G.I. Joe undoubtedly won the show, but everybody else got fairly solid showings out.
Yeah.
And also, I'm just going to say it, this did not go how I had planned. I was really expecting Snowcone to be here. Apparently he's not even going to pop in for the tail end like we fought for a second there. So I was expecting this to be a lot more lively and not just me sounding like I'm actually hosting PulseCon, so... probably not the best episode of Components for listeners, especially if you already know this news, because I'm the only person who's been super enthusiastic, but you know what? They can't all be bangers. We have an episode called Not a Banger. I will not call this one that, because I have to clickbait this. This will be called PulseCon Discussion or something like that, but you know what? Whatever. Boingo, tell the good people who you are and where they can find your stuff should you want them to.
Hey, howdy. I am Boingo Writer. I make content on the internet. I make video essays on YouTube at Boingo Writer. I make tweets at the Twitter at Boingo_Writer. I post pictures at the Instagram at Boingo_Writer. I post talks at the TikTok at Boingo_Writer. I stream on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday starting between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/Boingo Writer.
All right, and I am The Vacuuminator. I'm a YouTuber. I make videos. You can watch them at youtube.com/c/TheVacuuminator, TheVacuuminator, at The Vacuuminator on Twitter. Please, if you enjoyed this somehow, give us a like, give us a comment, let us know what you thought, subscribe and ring the bell in order to enable notifications and get every Modular Media podcast as they come out. Also follow us on Twitter at the Modular Media for updates about things and stuff. Join our subreddit r/Modular Media for the same reasons, and hey, maybe check out our link tree to see all the stuff that we do all around the internet. And if you're listening on a podcasting platform instead of YouTube, please follow us there because it helps us out in that algorithm. But that is it for this episode of Modular Components. I'm sorry it was not nearly as lively and as involved as this show has been known to be in the past, but hey, maybe something cool will happen next week. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Bye.
Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, that one too.